Hey everybody, it's Tavia here, and this month's teacher hack is all about mastery paths. How to use them, how to put requirements on them. Mastery paths is a really cool tool that can be used in the Canvas LMS, and it is great for differentiation and creating individualized learning paths based off of student performance. So we're going to take a few minutes and check that out. Um, Here we go. Now, when you build your mastery path, it's always a good idea to build the entire unit, start to finish, whether you're going to include differentiated assignments, different practice assignments, depending on how students perform, whatever you want in the unit, whatever you're going to use in your mastery path, go ahead and build the entire unit with everything that they could possibly create or everything they could possibly do for that particular unit. Okay, so that's all in place. So you created the entire unit. When you start the mastery path, you always want to start with some kind of quiz. The reason being, because most of the Canvas quizzes, unless it's an essay question, self grade. And you want something that kind of self grades so it can differentiate students on their path and they don't have to sit and wait for you to grade it. However, you can also start a mastery path from a regular assignment, but again, the path will not go in until the grade has been inputted, and that takes time on your behalf to have to grade it. Okay, so I got my whole unit here. It's all planned out. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to set my requirements. So I click edit and I put my requirements in. Now, if it's just a matter of you just want students to complete all the requirements, you would just check the first dot. If you want them to complete all their requirements, but they need to do them in a certain order, you want to check both boxes. And a lot of times we do check both boxes because they're going to usually complete all of the requirements, but we need them to do them in a certain order because that's one lesson builds on the next. At the top, you're going to go ahead and put that test. And it's not about what kind of score they get. So when you put that in as a requirement, for them, it's just they have to submit it. All right. And then you go ahead and list all the requirements that students have. If you want them to submit something and score a certain grade, you would hit score at least. I did put mark as done here because that's something that has to be hand graded, and it's on paper, so they can't submit this online. So they're just going to mark it as done when it's been submitted. Um, and you go in and you put in all your requirements, and then you're going to hit update. All right, so now I have all my requirements in. Now let's go back and look at how we want to build our path. Now, when I build my path, I always do it on a piece of paper first and then try to put it in. Uh, but you can always just do it straight from the screen. So we're going to click the EOC pre-exam. We're going to click the EOC pre-exam. And we're going to make sure you're in the assignment. Whatever your points is, this is a new Canvas quizzes. Um, so you're going to put in your points. You also want to make sure when you assign it that you assign it to mastery paths, but you also want to assign it to everyone. And the reason being is because if you don't, it won't show up for the students because the path hasn't been built yet. So the very first assignment, it needs to have everyone's name on it. Uh, Both. It needs to have everyone and the mastery path. And then once you have that, you can save it, build it if it's not built already. And now oops, we forgot to build the path. Let's go back. So I got all my information for the path here. So then we come up here to the mastery path page. The biggest or your point total that you put on your details page is up here at the top. So we know that that's the 100. And then it's always a 0 down here at the bottom. You kind of decide what your point totals you want to be. This is like a 90. Um, if you get a 90 or above, this is where you would fall. Um, I believe this is like an 80 or maybe even 75 or above. This is where you would fall. And then if you got less than that, this is where you would fall. So then that's when you think about what you've built in your module and what do you want students to work on based on how they scored. So the kid who got the A or the scholar who got the A, all they have to work on is their review packet. Okay, for this particular journey. So all they would have to do is create is complete this packet. If they got a C or better, they have to complete the packet, but they also have to watch some review videos in preparation for their exam or in preparation for a big test or in order to help them complete their review packet. They have some shorter videos to watch. And then if they got less than what we would consider mastery, they have another small review highlight section, which is for me is just a remediation thing where we sit down and we're going over test questions together. So, and they also have to complete the packet and watch the videos. So there is a little more. It gets a little more complex sometimes depending on um, what level they are. All right. So once you figured out all your path, now we can hit save. All right. Now, this particular student has already taken their exam. And we can see that from their score, they have to do the review packet because every student had to do the review packet. But notice that they only have to watch their videos and do their practice test. They don't have to do another small group remediation. So they didn't get an A, but they did get what I'll consider mastery in my class. So now they have to just do some review work. Everyone is going to take the practice test, regardless if you got a mastery or not. Everyone is going to take some practice questions because this is a review module. Uh, but you can see that they do not have to do any small group or remediation with me to go over test questions. So now they have all the requirements in. And remember, anytime you use requirements, they are going to be grayed out until the student completes the requirement that is first. Now, if you don't want to see all of this at once, you can set up multiple mastery paths within a unit. And you can do it the same way. So, for instance, here, if let's come out of student view. So let's say they took a test here and they had their review packet or they had to watch the videos or whatever the case may be is was next. And then they get to this first test here once they've completed their previous assignments or requirements. You can also add a mastery path here. Okay. There's also an option for a mastery path right here that will allow you to do the same thing. So all you have to do is come down here and make sure you add mastery paths, and then you can build another mastery path off of here. But the same rules apply. Whatever you're going to include in all your mastery paths, you need to make sure that you put inside the entire module so you can see it. Um, Rule of thumb that I have realized is make sure that if you do mastery paths that or multiple mastery paths within a given unit, I always like to plan them on paper first and play with it a couple of times before you turn your students loose on it because sometimes one little mistake can throw off your whole path. But that's it for this month's teacher hack. If you have any questions or need any follow-up information, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments, and I will be more than happy to walk you through it again. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.